Once upon a time there was a little boy called Silly Billy. It all began on a blustery Saturday morning, the sort where the clouds looked like they'd had one too many cups of tea and couldn't sit still. Silly Billy was supposed to be helping Dad tidy the garden, which in Billy's mind meant poking things with sticks and seeing what made Sulky hiss. Dad, sleeves rolled and pencil behind ear, was rummaging in the shed. "We'll need the rake, the trowel, and the leaf blower," he declared, pulling out a rather suspicious-looking contraption that looked like a hairdryer with delusions of grandeur. Billy's eyes lit up. "Can I have a go?" Dad hesitated. "It's not a toy, Billy. It's powerful. It's got suction and blow." Billy blinked. "Like Gran's Hoover." "Exactly," Dad said, not noticing the glint in Billy's eye. "Only this one's for outside. Strictly for leaves." Billy nodded solemnly. "Strictly leaves. Got it." Dad turned to fetch the rake. That was his first mistake. The moment his back was turned, Billy tiptoed toward the blower. It hummed with potential. He pressed the button. It roared to life like a dragon with hay fever. "Wee!" Billy squealed as the blower bucked in his hands like a startled goat. A pile of leaves shot skyward, followed by Mum's washing, a startled Sulky, and one of Gran's bloomers that had been sunning itself on the line. "Billy!" Dad shouted, spinning around just in time to catch a flying sock in the face. "What did I say?" Billy grinned, hair windswept and eyes sparkling. "You said it was powerful. You didn't say it was brilliant." Dad sighed, plucking Gran's undergarment from the hedge. "Well, that's one way to air the laundry." From the fence, Jock the cockerel crowed with delight. "That's the spirit, lad. Give it some welly." Billy beamed. "I did. And the garden too." The shed door creaked ominously behind them, as if even it disapproved. And so began the great garden blowout. After the laundry-lifting leaf blower incident, Dad decided to take a tactical tea break. Mum retreated indoors muttering something about airing dirty linen in public, and Sulky was last seen sulking behind the compost bin with a leaf stuck to his tail. Billy, however, was just getting started. He eyed the hedge. It was tall, shaggy, and frankly overdue for a trim. "You need a haircut," Billy whispered, revving the blower like a barber with boundary issues. Jock strutted over, feathers fluffed. "Give it a proper blow-dry, lad. Make it stylish." Billy nodded. "I'll give it layers." He aimed the blower. Leaves flew like confetti at a wedding where the bride was a bush. The hedge shuddered, revealing a startled squirrel mid-snack and what might have been Grandad's missing slipper. "Oops," Billy said, as the slipper sailed into the bird bath. The hedge now resembled a punk rocker in a wind tunnel. Bits stuck out at odd angles, and one side was mysteriously bald. Dad reappeared, tea in hand. "Billy, what have you done?" Billy beamed. "I gave it a blowout. Like Mum's hair on Thursdays." Dad blinked. "It looks like it's been mugged by a tornado." Billy shrugged. "It's got character." Just then, Gran popped her head over the fence. "Ooh, is it hedge day? I've got my trimming shears and a flask of ginger tea." She paused, surveying the hedge. "Well, that's avant-garde." Billy grinned. "It's a hedge turner." Gran chuckled. "You've certainly made a cut above." Dad sighed, sipping his tea. "At least it's not jam on the curtains." From the shed, Grandad emerged with a magnifying glass. "I say, is that my slipper in the bird bath?" Billy nodded proudly. "It's part of the installation." Jock flapped his wings. "It's a masterpiece. Call it a leave me alone." And so, the hedge became the talk of the village, half sculpture, half scandal, all Billy. With the hedge now resembling a startled badger and Grandad's slipper officially reclassified as aquatic, Billy turned his attention to the lawn. Or rather, what was left of it. Jock the cockerel was strutting about like he'd just won best in show, feathers fluffed and chest puffed. "Time for a proper clean sweep," he crowed. Billy nodded, revving the blower. Let's tidy up the grass clippings. But the blower had other ideas. The moment Billy aimed it at the lawn, a rogue gust caught Jock's tail feathers. With a squawk and a flap, Jock took off like a feathered firework, spiraling through the air and landing in Mum's herb patch with a dramatic thud. "Mint," he muttered, dazed but dignified. Billy gasped. "Jock! You flew!" Jock groaned. "I was propelled." "There's a difference." Sulky, watching from the fence, gave a slow blink of feline judgment. Dad rushed out, holding a half-eaten biscuit. "Billy, what did you do now?" Billy pointed. "I gave Jock a lift." Dad blinked. "He's not a parcel, Billy." Billy shrugged. "His express delivery." Just then, Grandad appeared, holding a string-powered contraption. "I've built a wind gauge. It's calibrated to measure gusts, gales, and garden gaffes." He paused, watching Jock wobble out of the mint. "Ah." Category: Poultry Propulsion. Gran arrived with a tray of lemon drizzle cake. "I brought snacks. Though I see Billy's already served up a flying fowl." Billy giggled. "It's a bird buffet." Gran winked. "Just don't blow the cake away, dear." Billy aimed the blower at the crumbs. "I'll clean the tray." Dad lunged. "No. Not the drizzle." Too late. A flurry of crumbs danced into the air like sugary snowflakes. Sulky leapt, caught one mid-air, and landed with a smug thump. Jock, still minty, muttered, "I preferred the herbaceous border." Billy looked around. The garden was a masterpiece of mayhem, trimmed hedge, airborne poultry, and a cat with cake crumbs on his whiskers. Dad sighed. "Billy, you've turned the garden into a wind tunnel." Billy grinned. "It's a blowout sale." And with that, the chase resumed, Billy, blower in hand, Jock flapping, Dad dodging, and Gran laughing so hard her spectacles fogged up. By mid-afternoon, the garden looked like it had hosted a village fete, a feathered parade, and a minor weather event, all at once. Leaves clung to the fence like party guests who'd overstayed their welcome, and Sulky had retreated to the greenhouse, where he now sat atop a tomato plant with the air of someone filing a formal complaint. Billy stood in the middle of it all, leaf blower in hand, cheeks flushed with triumph. "I think we're done." Dad surveyed the scene. "Define the done." Billy pointed. "The leaves are gone. The hedge is styled. Jock's had a workout. Sulky's exfoliated, and Gran's bloomers got some fresh air." Mum emerged with a tray of squash and biscuits, eyebrows raised. "It looks like the garden's been redecorated by a tornado with artistic flair." Billy beamed. "It's a blowout makeover." Grandad nodded, adjusting his magnifying glass. "It's certainly expressive. I'd call it postmodern pastoral with poultry." Gran chuckled. "I'd call it Billy's big blowout." Jock flapped onto the patio table, feathers askew. "I'd call it never again." Dad sighed, then smiled. "Well, it's not what I planned. But it's very thus." Mum handed Billy a biscuit. "You've got a knack for turning chores into adventures." Billy munched happily. "I just think outside the shed." Everyone laughed, even Sulky, who blinked slowly in what might have been approval. As the sun dipped low, casting golden light across the chaos, Billy looked around. The garden wasn't perfect. But it was full of stories, of flying bloomers, airborne chickens, and crumb-catching cats. Dad ruffled Billy's hair. "Next time, maybe we start with the rake." Billy nodded. "Or a parachute." Gran winked. "And maybe a biscuit net." Jock groaned. "And a helmet." Billy giggled. "It's not a mess. It's a memory." And with that, the family settled into the garden, sipping squash, sharing stories, and watching the last few leaves drift gently down like confetti from a very silly celebration.